Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is The Thunder Show, aka WLTV, the internet's most popular wine television. It's tough to say television program, why do I say that? Wine internet program. And today, we are continuing the NYC tour, the greatest city in the world. And we are at a very fancy schmancy place. Yelling like that was kind of fun to do in a place like this. This is the Carlyle Cafe. And we are here with William Rhodes. My good friend Bill. Bill, it's a pleasure to be here, man.
Likewise.
Thank you so much. And tell me a little bit about the space we're in before we get into the show, because it's kind of cool.
Well, this is actually our cabaret, and it's been in existence for the last 40 years. And we have, it was really established by a gentleman named Bobby Short, been playing here on this Fenway piano that
cool.
Gary V's on right now. And Woody Allen plays here on Monday nights. It's just a very interesting environment here. And, you know, a lot of fun, and we just renovated the space in the room, so it's actually been brought back to sort of its glory days, if you will.
Is there any way we can negotiate now that you guys have been on the Thunder Show for me to perform here on
Absolutely,
Wednesday
as long as you play a tambourine, man.
That's right.
Or the triangle.
That's right. So, okay, we're doing a lot of places. We're doing, you know, the wines by the glass. Here we're doing a selection by you.
Yes.
So why don't we go through these wines, see what we think, and why don't you give me your thought process onto why you're presenting this to the millions.
There we go.
And millions of Vaniacs out there that are watching. So let's start with Vino number one.
All right, wine number one that we've got here, decanted it. It's 1990 Chenin Blanc by Prince Poniatowski. This is Agal Blanc Cuvée. And, you know, a wine that when we serve this here, we do decant it. You know, I generally have a few decanters ready to go in each of the outlets because our wines by the glass are poured everywhere in the hotel, this outlet, bar, restaurant, etc. When you drink old Chenin Blanc, you know, it certainly can be a little bit earthy, let's say, a little bit woolly. So it certainly helps out the wine to express itself in a more interesting, nuanced way. And the reason putting this on, this is a featured sommelier selection that we do here. It's nice.
Are you the featured sommelier?
I am the featured sommelier.
Is that like a Gary V pick?
Pretty much, exactly. Same idea. People get to cruise through, see.
We're thinking about creating a Mott pick. You know, he's more of a cult hero than I am now. The last place we went to, the people went wild. And I'm thinking about making Mott t-shirts, because my dodgeball ones sure don't sell. Mott, link up my dodgeball t-shirt. I've got like 40,000 of them still. All right. So the thought process on this, not many people have had, you know, older wines from the Loire Vouvray. Great opportunity to give people a chance to try something that, you know, in my estimates, this is sort of my answer to Chardonnay without all that oak. Sure.
And you get that texture, sure, a little bit of residual sugar in something like this, not much, depends on what you can perceive, but certainly gives you something texturally appealing and works great with our food, because our food here is really pretty rustic, pretty savory, pretty rich, and simple, which is nice. So you take simple, and you can take something that's got the, you know, complication that.
As a lot of you guys know, you know, I'm all about the Loire. We talk a lot about Cab Franc from Loire. Obviously, you know, Chenin Blanc, older. These are high quality wines that are really still very much under the radar. Wine nerds like Bill, they know the scene, but you know, we really need to expand. And you know, what's been very exciting for me is I've seen Chinon and Bordeaux and all these things become much more part of the Vaniacs that they're buying in the store and the conversation. I'd like to see older Chenin become more of the conversation as well. This is a producer I'm extremely familiar with. As a matter of fact, before this importer even did business in New York, in Jersey, I was rolling serious, buying like 80–90% of this, going back to the 89 vintage. This 90 vintage I'm excited about. There's another producer called Viking that I think is doing some interesting stuff in this category as well. So what do you guys sell this for by the glass here?
This, well, welcome to the Carlyle. This is $25 a glass. Certainly.
So it's about like 13 cents at Wine Library.
Exactly.
You know, so that
if
kind
you
of
do
thing.
the ratio there, you know, fear not when we go through the prices on these, because again,
great nose.
That's the Carlyle.
Do they pay you
motto.
that way too, so you can afford it?
Absolutely. You know, it's I love my bonus plan here. It's fantastic.
So obviously you get that, you know, almost like a dried up lemon. If you've ever kept a lemon in your your fridge too long and it gets shriveled up.
Yeah, it's you know, a lot of times what I say.
That funkiness. Because it was right now by your funky cheese.
Exactly. Downstairs next to that aged goat cheese.
Let's give it a whirl.
The other thing about this too is we sell a lot of Dover sole. One of the few places still does Dover sole tableside. We do it in Meunier, rich, buttery lemon sauce, perfect with something like this.
It's funny. This actually almost tastes like You don't have to spit. I'm like that's kind of like the thing the maniacs love.
Well, that's
that
why
I spit
right.
and everybody else doesn't.
Oh, no.
And then they say I wear a dress and I'm a girly boy. They love it. They love to rag on me. And then Mott moderates it, and it's real fun. Anyway, so there is obviously a hint of residual sugar on a wine like this. But what's really kind of interesting about it, whether it was subconsciously when you were saying it, this almost does taste like fish to me. It almost reminds me, because it's so heavy on lemon, and I actually get kicked out of fish restaurants because I ask for like 6, 7 lemons and just squeeze so much lemon on the fish that I eat. It's almost borderline obnoxious. Kind of like this name pin.
Yeah.
You know, so, you like that, right?
It's perfect. You know I'm going to send you one with your name on it. I don't know how I'm going to spell it all out, though. It's going to be a name tag. It's about this big.
They, dashes. This is beautiful wine. I mean, this is something people need to experience. Bill is exactly right. The mouthfeel is where this wine wins you over. It's got the complexity, the lushness. It really curves around your palate, has subtle back-end acidity, which is nice, which will match it up with a lot of foods. There's a real shot of like pineapple candy on the finish.
It's very candy tropical.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, like Skittles. Taste that rainbow. Yeah. To me, this is a 91 plus, 92 type point wine. Let's go 91 plus. I don't want to mix up, you know, SS Chris. He gets confused. So this is a really solid bottle of wine. Again, I'm trying to recall off the top of my head, but I think it's more like a $30 retail or something like that kind of wine, which is, you know, far from inexpensive, but definitely worth the run, especially if you're drinking, you know, classic white burgundies and you're looking for something a little different, or if you're trying to get somebody who's serious about wine, a little bit more into wine, or like a serious foodie who's not into wine yet, and they need that little splash of residual sugar that this wine brings to the table. It kind of starts opening up their mind into what wine can be like.
Do you need a job as a sommelier? I'm looking for somebody.
Yeah, you looking for somebody?
Perfect.
Wednesday nights, I'm totally open.
You're in.
Let's move on. Let's go. What are we doing next?
So this is Aubin Climat's Ici Le Bas line.
ABC, baby.
That's it. This is Elke Vineyard, Mendocino, Northern California, 2004.
Elke Vineyard, huh?
Yeah, Elke.
Yep.
And what's great about this is a very different style for California Pinot Noir. Very burgundy in its presentation. A lot of that dried cherry, cranberry spice, you know, cookie cutter. You know, something. It really reminds me when I first tried it, Pommard. It's got that rustic side to it, and it's a food wine. You know, something that has great structure, nice acidity, but all balanced in a pretty complete package. Very, you know, a spicier version of California, because I find a lot of California Pinots, they've been, you know, very Syrah. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I was trying to figure out a diplomatic.
They've been cheating, folks. Pinot Noir in California, they've been cheating. You're allowed 15% to pour other things. Let me tell you what they're pouring in. They're pouring in Petit Syrah. They're pouring in Syrah. I almost feel like they're pouring in port.
Yeah.
I mean, these wines, when you look at the color of this wine, it's still fairly dark, but, I mean, we're now seeing pitch black Pinot Noir coming out of California, and I promise you, if you flip the switch, rewind, go hang out with Hugh Johnson in that old school world, Pinot Noir was very light. You could see your fingers through it, and you know what? I can see my if you want a great test, when somebody pours you some Pinot and you can't see your fingers through it, send it back, and then fight the Somm when they tell you, what are you worried about? Because a lot of New World Somms think those are the cool wines.
Right.
You know, that's what they're about, because Parker and other wine critics have been giving those wines big score, because we're all moving to bigger and better. It's like those big cars on the street. It's all of that mentality in the wine industry. I'm hoping, and I think I'm seeing a little bit of a pushback, finally.
Yeah. Which is, you know, again, why something like this is so, to me, just really unique to have in a sense. Because it sounds like it shouldn't be unique, right? Everybody knows Pinot Noir, but to have something, you know, when you try it,
it's like organic food. Everybody makes a big deal about organic food. Organic food should be organic. That's how all of our food should have been in the first place. That's kind of what I think we're going with on this direction. I'm going to give this a snippy sniff because that's what I do. And again, I agree. I mean, this is, you know, this is the kind of Pinot Noir, given today's day and age, in a blind tasting that could kind of fool me, because I'd probably lean towards, on the nose, I get a little bit of that leather stick that I like to call it. You know, sour cherries, hints of like almost green asparagus coming through on the nose as well. You know, a little of that vegetal love that's going to always make me think old world. I'm feeling it. Now, what are you selling this by the glass for here? Like $100 a glass?
Yeah, close to that. You know, depends on the nights that you're going to be here working. On Wednesday night, it'll be 75 special.
We're going to push it double up.
No, we sell this. This is on the list for $24 a glass. You know, to reiterate, you know, a lot of what we're pouring here, you know, I'm sure when people watch us and see like, oh my God, they're pouring this, you know, we are not shy about what we're going to bring in. We want to give people the best of what we have to offer. So
you were telling me, like, you know, you're selling Latache and Eagle and crazy things in this room.
In this room here alone, it's
Old school
insane.
Upper East
That's
Side,
it.
baby.
And yeah, this is Las Vegas in this room. You're seeing Vegas with the lights up, but when
Where
the
are all
lights
the
come
hotties,
down,
though?
man.
I don't see any of the hotties. Those guys are disgusting looking.
Yeah.
So, really lush on the palate. Really some nice sour cherries I'm enjoying. I get a really huge shot of New England, which makes me mad. You know, especially because how much I hate the Patriots and Tom Brady. But there's a large load of cranberry exploding in my mouth on this wine towards the tail end. Transitioning from the mid-palate to the finish, there's an explosion of cranberry, which I appreciate. I'm big on the cranberry these days. I should be down to the cranberry, actually. I'm going to talk to my palate about that.
Figure that one out, huh?
This is a nice wine. As a matter of fact, this is a wine I'd love to see what it does over the next 24 to 36 months. Lay down. I think it could lose some of that baby fat, get even more focused. I find it getting a little bit randomized on the mid-palate to the finish as well. Maybe it's that cranberry. See, I'm doing it already. And very good Pinot Noir again. Yes, absolutely. I'm totally against this New World craziness.
Yeah, and I mean Jim Clendenin. I mean the guy basically.
He's a master.
Yeah,
I mean,
Pinot Noir,
Avant
Chardonnay.
Climat, Google it. This guy is an early legend.
Because the
of
cool
Pinot
thing
Noir.
about a lot of these wines here is that there's either a second label or a more regional wine that they have. The ABC stuff at the county level kicks butt, man.
Awesome
really
stuff.
some good stuff.
Let's move on.
Sure. Next one I think we'll do is we'll do a wine that we made here for the hotel 2004. Myself and Tim Spear, Vigneron.
Big hockey fan.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a rinse.
Of Clomie Me, I'll just show you the front label here. And we co-branded this, I guess about 7-8 months ago. And just developed the packaging here at the Carlyle one. East Coast meets West Coast, 100% Paso Syrah, sorry,
No worries.
2004. And the great thing about this particular wine is I think, and I don't know how Gary V feels, but Syrah is going to make a big impact, I think, on our worlds very soon. You know, as far as a food wine, as far as a drinkable wine, as far as that boutique explosion that happened with Pinot.
You know, I'm a huge fan of Pinot Noir. This is cool what you guys did. We might have to come out with a wine library like this. I'd sell for less than you guys.
Beautiful, bring it on.
That's what we'll call it. Less than the Carlyle. We'll just call it less than the Carlyle.
I'll give you the JPEG.
labels,
That's
right.
it. That's it. That actually would help us.
I'm a big fan of Syrah. I honestly think that Syrah, at some levels, already had its moment in the sun. You know, through the explosive rich wines that all got those huge scores. Packs and all that stuff. Clomimi, even back 5 or 6 years ago, was, you know, people would fight you and cut your arm off for it. Now, you know, you can get it. I mean, all those wines. But I'm so passionate about what goes on in the Rhone, and I feel like. You know, I feel like the problem with California or domestic Syrah, even Walla Walla, which we all know how much I love, I feel like they do too much with it. I almost feel like you've already got the good weather. You're already going to get a riper style. Don't ripen the ripen. It's like taking Frankenstein in a way and like loading him with a bazooka. I'm like, you know, relax. Frankenstein's going to kick ass anyway.
Yeah, he's already angry
You know
enough.
what? Yeah, he's scary as it is. You know, they portray Frankenstein, though, as a nice guy in a lot of arenas, if you think about it. Like the Munsters, and like the cereal guy. They're all, like, nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of intriguing.
It is.
What do you think about that?
You know what, Frankenstein, I've never been a real fan of. I was more of a werewolf kind of person, but not really
How about
Frankenstein.
Green Arrow?
You know what?
That's
Green
DC
Arrow?
Comics.
I definitely like Green Arrow, man.
So, anyway, that's how I feel. I mean, I don't know. I honestly think that possibly, mainly because of Walla Walla. I think Walla Walla is on the verge of really shocking the world, a little Buster Douglas style. So that could be.
I hope so. I've got 4
Snippy
pages.
snip.
I got 4 pages of Syrah on the list here. So.
Vested interest.
Exactly. I'm the CEO of Syrah.
That's right. That's nice. Now, I will tell you, you know, this actually is not too over the top on the nose. I was a little concerned it would be 14.5 alcohol. It was probably a little bit higher. Paso, you know, they get a little candy-esque, a little high C, a little fake. I was worried about that so far. Somewhat under-controlled on the nose. You know, kind of a challenging nose. It's aromatically challenged, which is always a problem in my opinion.
Yeah, I get a lot of earth and smoke on his
No
wines.
question. I mean, I really get residual smoke. It was like there was a fire here 3 days ago.
Exactly.
Oh,
You get
really?
that
I smell it.
That sooty
Yeah.
smell. I often, when I talk to tables about this wine, I oftentimes tell them this is like as close to Pinot Noir as you can get for Syrah. It's very red fruit driven. You know, of course, it has that alcohol that we were mentioning before, so it definitely has a rounder mouthfeel and is really quite lush. But
you know, it's got a good attack overall. It's very vegetal on the mid palate, which I enjoy. It gets a little Jim Sake in there as well, which I'm never against. Almost even a little mushroomy, earthy. You know. Cave-like. sour fruit on the finish. This is a solid bottle of wine. I mean, you know, kind of awkward moment. I'm not going berserko. I'm not going to, you know, make out with you afterwards because of this wine. But a solid effort, you know, to be more of like an 89 type point wine, solid structure, good fruit. I think it's just missing that for me. But, you know, again, that's one palate. Trust your own. I prefer, by the way, all the emails I get, can I stop getting the emails like, Gary, you're the best. Gary, you are so shockingly handsome. Gary, you are so smart. Can I start seeing the emails? Don't worry. It's going to be cool. Email me. Hey, Gary, you love this wine. I was like, meh. Or, Gary, you panned this. Somebody emailed me and said I panned Clos de Val and they love it. That's great. Pencil fight. Football. Remember, I'll beat you. But anyway, I want you to not listen to me. Honestly, I'm not doing this to become Parker or Tanzer or a spectator. This is about opening your mind, trying different things, learning different things, having fun, that kind of stuff. That's what wine is all about, embracing your palate, not mine. Oh, I'm the new internet guy, embrace mine. I don't want that. I'm gonna get angry, like Karate Kid style, like sweep the leg, Johnny.
That's it.
You don't want anybody to think you're cool,
way,
right?
Man. No, not at all.
Me neither.
No.
So let's move on.
Crane kick, baby.
Crane kick.
All right, so now we're going across the Atlantic to Bordeaux. This is Chateau Grand Prix Lacoste, 5th growth, Pauillac, and 2002.
Cabernet based.
And
challenging vintage.
Yeah, and the cool thing that I found about this one when I tried it is O2s are just drinking really well. I mean, if you really are looking, I tell my tables a lot of times when I'm, you know, discussing, they want a cab-based wine.
Would you call this a restaurant wine?
Absolutely.
You know, we talked about that the other day.
More than anything. I mean, this is a wine that you can just, you know, really, you know, classic Pauillac nose, great on the palate. To me, personally, easy to drink, and that's hard to find in Bordeaux.
No question about it.
Especially in a classified growth category.
Once again, you're seeing a theme here, and I think we're going to see it throughout this entire week, where restaurants are so much more lucky than retailers. Retailers, you know, we look at wines, a vintage like 2002 in Bordeaux, which is the worst from, let's say, gosh, for a while, let's say, going back 2005, because 2006 and 7 are kind of, 6 is good, but 7 is looking horrible. But
wishy-washy.
Real wishy-washy. But, you know, you're talking about a really tough vintage in 2002, being surrounded by the great 2000. 2001 was very sneaky. 2003 was the hot kangaroo Bordeaux vintage that a lot of people loved. 04, last of the Mohicans, last time you could buy value. And in 05, if you didn't buy any, you're actually not allowed to watch this program anymore. I'm dead serious. Turn off the computer. Go away. You can't watch anymore. You've got to buy 05 Bordeaux. So 02, though, again, diamonds in the rough. There's going to be 12 to 15 wines that are going to surprise you, you're going to love. And restaurants, because people are always looking for wines to drink, and most of these wines no longer are made to drink right away, are looking for these kind of opportunities. And then they look smart. You know, like he comes over and he says, hey, and if you like it, you're like, oh, that guy was smart. That was a crap-ass vintage, but he was right. We don't have that luxury as retailers in the retail world because we can't bring it in because you're not going to buy it. I mean, there's just so many other options. And plus,
although I'm supporting you, though, because in a roundabout sort of way, because when people come and say, hey, that's really great, I say, you know what, go to your retailer, Wine Library in New Jersey, if you were there.
Or anywhere else in the world.
Exactly.
You need to get used to that.
I do. I forget about this.
Say it for me.
Wine Library anywhere else in the world, just a click away, is to buy these O2s because guess what? You're not finding value anywhere else.
Well, I find that A, to be true, and B, which is probably bigger than A, the way these restaurants price wines really support me. I love that.
Yeah.
What is this going for by the glass?
24 glass.
Got it. Let's give it a whirl. First on the sniffy sniff, you know you're getting veggies and dirt. Again, this has very much been an old world, even though there's been some new world stuff here tasting, which is going to make me like Bill a little bit more. He was a little bit prepared. He went smart on this. Yeah. Good work on that. Lots of veggies. I mean, we're talking, you know, Brussels sprouts coming through on the nose. Little hint, really actually, you know what it smells like quite a bit? A Bloody Mary. It's got a real classic celery component, a little bit of like cherried tomatoes. Yeah. It's really quite interesting, actually.
Yeah. One of the things I get like that, you know, dried tobacco for sure, like a Maduro tobacco leaf, that cigar box. Certainly, you know, you smell a lot more of that Cab Franc quality in this wine, a lot more of that herby, veggie.
This is a wine
arena.
that if you do roll in the Loire, that I can see you liking quite a bit. It
Absolutely.
is
Good call,
very,
man.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is very earthy. Ooh, somebody's calling the store. Very earthy.
They want to buy some Aubin Climat,
I think so?
That's it, man. That's it. We sold it.
So really earthy. You know, it's got some really ripe fruit. Just for a flash, though, this is not a fruit-driven wine. This is, you know, dirty underpants. You know, veggies,
Stinky.
The ground. You know, go outside, dig up some dirt, stick it in your mouth. Conan did it. You know, I mean, that's what happens with a wine like this.
It was hilarious.
You like that?
Oh my goodness.
Really fresh, well-made, structured, classic Bordeaux. Now, I know how you guys roll that watch the show. I'm going to tell you right now, you do not need to go out and buy this wine. You know, this is a wine, when you come across it in a situation like this, you should definitely try because you need to. There's too many other options. I think this wine, on the retail level, is going to be priced in a manner which is going to be a pass. To me, this is, 87, 88, 86 plus type point wine. Let's go 87 for SS Chris. I like it. It's solid. That's not bad. I'm giving 87. Lavernius Cole's my favorite jet sometimes, so, when he catches touches. Anyway, it's a well-made wine. I don't want you to shy away from 2002 Bordeaux. You need to try them. You remember the other day, I went 0 for 3 in my own store by going shopping and putting on the Thunder Show. So that was a worthwhile experience for me because it reminded me, even though I love a producer, every wine is an individual. Even though I like all people with William tags, maybe this William's a bad dude. I mean, you never know. And so what you have to do is you have to explore. Bill, I'm going to let you ask the Vayner Nation the question of the day.
What's the question of the day?
You ask them. Make it up. They have to answer. That's what we do.
Question of the day. Oh, wow, I put him on a spot here.
I know, it's funny.
No, it's
when you
hilarious.
watch this back, you're going to be like, why didn't I give something quicker?
Quicker. I got to think on my feet.
Shoot it.
Question of the day. Oh, my goodness. If you had the opportunity to drink one wine on New Year's Eve, what would it be?
That was pretty good. Even though it was a little bit of stall.
It was stall. It
No,
was stall. You got me. You got me.
It was solid.
But I'm curious. I'm curious what the
I wanna see
champagne
what's-
people are, and I'm curious what the
Red wine drinkers.
red wine drinkers and white wine drinkers are as well.
A little rosé. You never
Yeah,
know.
there you go. Bring it on.
You, with a little bit of me, and this man, we're changing the wine world.